Hey friends, welcome back to Full Measure Farm. Today we're going to be talking about brooding chicks out on pasture. We really like to do that when the weather's warm, and I know I've done some videos on brooding in the greenhouse, but today we're going to take a second to talk about brooding them out on pasture. Check it out. So just like when you're brooding chicks in a controlled environment such as a garage, barn, or greenhouse, you want to focus on warmth and their food and water, so they obviously have shelter. So if you're brooding out on pasture, you need to ensure that you're able to provide that. So these pens, they have a roof, and then two corners of the back are covered with metal. So they have a spot that we know is going to be dry, and I always make sure that I have the ability to put a really good tarp over the whole thing with plenty of weights or bricks and bungees to hold it down. So that's something I think about. Also, before I put them out here, I make sure that the nights aren't going to be much lower than 60. And because our only other option is brooding in the greenhouse, if days are going to be warmer than, say, 80, I usually will go for the pasture option. You want to make sure that there are no low spots in the pen, especially when you start them out, or at least where you put their heat plates where you're going to keep them warm. You've got to make sure that if it does rain, they will be totally dry in that spot. So we had a couple little chicks in this batch that weren't doing as well, and the boys here are making sure that they get their very own drink of water and some extra care. So something you want to watch out for if you have chicken wire on the pen is I've had a couple chicks the very first day that are small enough to squeeze through. And so you may have to put up like a plastic blocker around it, or just keep an eye on them for the first part of their brooding. And also keep an eye in the corners. If you see the chicks starting to pile up, they may be cold. So if there's any wind, you may need to put up a little windbreak. But as always, you want to check, and if the chicks are happy and have a happy little cheeping noise and are spread out and eating and drinking, that is always the sign that they're doing really well. And when it starts to get close to nighttime, or if it's getting cool, make sure that you put the chicks under the heat plates. If I see them piling up in a corner, I'll take specifically those chicks and I'll put them under the heat plate. Just kind of shove them under there, and usually they stay there. They really like to find that warmth, and it kind of starts a cool chickie trend. So they all start to find that heat plate. Usually after the first day or two, that's all the encouragement they need. So pretty easy. That's about all the tips I have for it. This is a great way to get your chicks on pasture from day one when you get them from the hatchery, and they can enjoy all the good grass, and it takes a little bit of the pressure off it for you because they can help regulate their temperature a little bit better in the warmth. Thanks guys.